Okay. Beautiful stuff. I do believe we are live, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. We are fresh off the back of the Xbox Showcase. I'm sure you all are as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show. We are super pumped and ready to be talking about some gaming goodness. Obviously, Xbox just showing off many a game, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing what everyone thought about it. They definitely brought the first party brigade today, that's for sure. We'll get into it. But yeah, shout out to the chat for joining us. Thank you very much for being here, guys. It's great to see you in, and feel free to share this bad boy out and hit that like button. It would mean a lot. But yes, we have got an awesome panel to chat some games today. Returning to the channel when it's been too long, my friend, the developer of Song of Iron, now working on Song of Iron 2. Here's Joe back in the house. How you doing, brother?
Hey Indy, how's it going, man? It's been it's been forever.
Yes, indeed. Good stuff, buddy. Well, it's awesome to have you back. You know, chat some games. I'm looking forward to your next update of Song of Iron always. So yeah, good stuff. How's it all going? Just quickly on the old development side of things, all good?
It's going good. Yeah, I burnt myself out a little bit, so I had to slow down. But
Yep.
I'm back at it. Feeling good. I'm excited about it again, and
that's great.
Got some cool stuff going. So
awesome. Looking forward to seeing more exciting stuff. Yeah, well, thanks very much for being here today, buddy. I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about this. Obviously, you know, as a ex, 343 employee as well, so you get insight on that.
Always.
Yeah, I love that. Fantastic. Yeah, joining me as well, my partner in crime once again, it is Luke Steelback for another showcase, brother. Looking forward to hearing what you thought about this one. How you doing?
Yeah, very well. There was a lot in that show.
It was.
A lot of stuff, so it'd be good to talk about it.
Definite, bro. Awesome stuff. Well, thanks for being here. Looking forward to diving in. And back on the channel for the second time, an awesome guest we had quite recently, a fan of the Metroidvania and a great YouTube channel. Definitely check him out if you haven't already. Is the Mad Belmont back on the channel. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing great, man. It's great to be back here, and Xbox definitely showed a lot, and I am excited about a lot that they showed, so I can't wait to get into this.
Awesome, buddy. Fantastic stuff. Thanks for being here. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts, guys. And yeah, shout out to the chat for being here as well. And thank you again to Belmont for being here once again. But we've got Stubbs Gaming in. We've got Mr. Domez and Paul S joining us. Thank you for being here. Ryu Hayabusa as well. I don't know if you're still hanging around, but thank you all for being here. Like I say, looking forward to checking out what all of you guys thought. So definitely let us know from the chat what your thoughts were on the Xbox show. We'll bring it back up for some reminders as well, because there was a lot to think about. I think my list is somewhere around here as well that I was trying to take whilst I ate a Burger King and watched the show. It's multitasking, guys.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Multitasking king.
Yeah. Exactly. Brilliant stuff. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and get some instant reaction thoughts on what you just saw. Head it straight over to my man, Joe Winter. What did you think of the show as a sort of, off the cuff reaction, my friend?
Off the cuff, I mean, it was great. I'm never disappointed by a show when they just start off with trailers and they barely talk. I think 2 people or 3 people maybe talked to us like directly from a stage. So I'm always happy to just see tons of trailers and stuff. I saw some stuff I liked, some stuff that I was kind of like falling asleep watching, even though it looked really cool. There's just I've played this game before. Oh, nope, not that game. It's something else. And so, so there's a lot of that stuff. I don't blame Xbox for that. That's just the gaming landscape right now, maybe.
Sure,
but there's also some like really cool stuff in there. The 33 Immortals, that first shot where you see like 15, 20 guys running. I thought, I wonder if this is like a ton of people multiplayer game, and it was. And
nice,
really cool.
Nice call on that one, because that was definitely one of my highlights, and that was where I was getting really hyped for a lot of indie goodness. But we'll get back into that in a minute. But everyone will probably tell me I'm wrong. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But that looked great. That was Thunder Lotus, wasn't it, as well? The developer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I was
hyped. Yeah, really cool stuff.
Look cool that. Yeah, that 33 player thing is pretty unique, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty interesting. There was an early shot, and I thought, this would be cool if it's something like that, and then it ended up being that. So
nice.
That was really neat.
The developers, eagle keen eye there. Love it.
Yeah, it was cool. There was cool stuff in there, and like I said, some snoozers, but that's maybe just personal, not necessarily true to everybody's how people will feel about it. But
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's always subjective, isn't it? These things. So yeah, absolutely. We'll get into some more detail on that in a moment.
Yeah.
But great start. And shout out to Uncle Mike for joining us. Thank you for being here, buddy. I bet you love that flight sim part in that showcase, as he's a big flight sim guy. Check out his channel. Yeah, you should look at his channel. He's absolutely amazing, actually, because
awesome.
He's actually flown planes and everything. He's so knowledgeable. So check out his channel. It's really good. So great start there, Joe. Thank you very much. And Luke, let's go over to you, my friend, and get some off the cuff gut reaction of the actual show. What you thought of it?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good show, to be honest. I thought it was probably the best Xbox showcase they've done in a long time, at least in terms of lots of games, lots of first party, which I know we'll get into, but I think that's what they needed to do for this showcase, to be honest. And a lot of really good, just generally a lot of really good games as well, not just first party. I thought pretty much, there wasn't much they showed that I wouldn't be at least somewhat interested in, which I think is always like a good show, like on a personal barometer. It's always a good showcase if that happens. So I thought really strong start. They kept the talking to a minimal. It was really good. I mean, we'll talk about certain games, I guess, as well, but I enjoyed it.
Nice, fantastic stuff. Glad to hear you enjoyed. Yeah, they definitely brought the first party, and it was something that was kind of, I was actually quite surprised to see how hard they went on that, which was pretty cool.
They went very hard.
On that, yeah. And it was good. That was a great move in regards to, it's quite an offensive move, and in a good way, if you see what I mean. But yeah. There was some things I missed, but I will get to that later. Definitely
I know what you're talking about.
Are you on board, or are you thinking you just know?
Elephant in the room? Do we just need to talk about it right now? No. Sorry, keep going.
That's okay. We can warm up to it. Brilliant stuff. Well, yeah, Song of Iron 2 is what I missed. What a cheese. No, I definitely do. Looking forward to seeing more. Good stuff, buddy. But yeah, no, like it's one of those things. But we'll get around to that. Yeah, but let's get gut reaction from my man Belmont and see what you thought of the show, brother.
Man, I gotta tell you, this is definitely one of the better Xbox showcases that I've seen as of late. There was a bunch of stuff that definitely appealed to me. No Metroidvanias shown, which kind of stings a little bit, because that's kind of what I was expecting. But nice. Well, can't have everything you want on every showcase. So
true.
But they did show a lot of stuff there that I am super hyped for, including one from one of my favorite developers, inXile Studios. Love that studio. So, yeah, looking forward to talking about their game.
Nice, fantastic, buddy. I'm just trying to find that graphic. I found it now. There we go, with all the games that were shown on it. I'll get that up in a bit, and so we can use that as a refresher. But yeah, so I mean, for me, just as a little, I think we might as well talk about what I thought. I mean, I keep alluding to it, so, but I mean, I thought they've done an amazing job of showing off the first party, and they've really shown, they are, going a bit more attacking in their approach, I guess you could say, and that's great to see. I felt, for me personally, I didn't really get excited by a whole lot of it. I mean, there was some games in there which, looked good on the first party side of things, and there was one or two indies in there, like I say, the 33. What do we call it? 33 Immortals. Yeah, that looked cool, and I was definitely excited to see Thunder Lotus back there, because they were there with Spiritfarer in the past. But I mean, I felt like there was more time that they could have spent. I wouldn't say ever take away what they've done. I think what they've done, and just add a little bit to it. It just seems a little bit weird that they ended it on the hour, and then they spent ages. I know Starfield is an important game, but my God.
Yeah.
I think they've gone overkill on that?
That was wild. That was a lot.
Yeah. So I spend some of that time with a few more, indie games and diversity there. I was talking to someone just on Twitter a minute ago, they've come with the first party. They've been awesome in that regard, and they've pleased many people, I'm sure. But this doesn't mean you have to leave behind all the work they've done, bringing indies to the forefront as well. And I know there were a few in there. There's some people will probably go, oh, there were some indies in there and all that sort of thing. But I don't know, it just didn't feel like it was as diverse as their usual kind of show. I know they're trying to put the first party forward, but everyone come and attack me now and I'll just cry. But who wants to have a go at me? Go for it.
Yeah, no, I think the last couple years they've removed the indies from the main show, and they end up putting them in their smaller shows or their pre-shows and stuff. I do think that's a miss. I mean, I'm a little biased, but you know, there's no reason that we don't take 5 minutes of that 2 hours and do a couple montages and maybe highlight 2 or 3 minute long trailers of indie games. So we could get you could increase the game count of the show by 20 in 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
That's a good metric to increase as well.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with showing indie games, you know, at a gaming showcase of any kind, you know, because there are people out there like Indie here that love those types of games. Love them to death.
Yeah.
And of course I do too, because I love the indie Metroidvanias that come out.
Yeah.
It gives you a little breather between the big hitters too, like to show a little indie game after a big, Star Wars game reveal or whatever. And I don't know. I'm very biased because, I just want Song of Iron on a main show.
Of course. Yeah, should be there. But I mean, it's, you feel it from that perspective as well. I mean, I think this time was less than the usual. I mean, the usual is, a bit more indie, I would say. Like you've had
maybe a couple more.
Yeah, I think last year they had Cocoon. You had Last Case of Benedict Fox, As Dusk Falls. Silksong, of course, that's obviously the big boy. Yeah, I always forget the biggest one that's right in my face. You know what I mean? But yeah, of course, Silksong was a massive reveal. Like they didn't really have anything like that, and there's so much that they could be showing. They could have showed an update on Cocoon, or I was hoping for like a real juicy another new one, like when Last Case of Benedict Fox was shown. It was just like, oh, this is just great, this is so creative. And same with Cocoon and that. I don't know, just me maybe, obviously I can only speak from my personal perspective, but
no, totally. You want to see the diversity of games, right? I think the AAAs have like a feel where they all kind of feel similar in a way, and it's great to see 33 Immortals and what was the one that I made a note of, the climbing game? Jusant or something.
Jusant, I think it might be.
Jusant.
Yeah, that's what I would guess.
Yeah, I want to see more of that mixed in with the big stuff. I think it gives you such a better perspective of
that does look really good. Like that game looks really nice, actually. Really cool. Did you see who that was developed by? That one, actually.
I looked through. I saw. It showed
Don't Nod.
That's right. Yeah, because I remember saying, is that the one you were talking about the other day, Luke, or was that a brand new one?
No, that's Don't Nod are also doing Banished.
Oh yeah,
which is an action adventure game. So they were also doing that.
Yeah. So again, they're a bigger team as well, even though they a bit more indie sensibility or whatever. But again, like it's nice when you see Spiritfarer was on the showcase one year, and that was very much obscure. You know what I mean? As a full game being shown off, those kind of like smaller real teams where they get the real spotlight, and I know that's sort of quite rare for to get that spotlight is hard, and people like Joe would probably love that spotlight and deserve it and stuff, but it's hard, and it's like, but just to get a few people up on the old spotlight. And I guess it's one of the problems is someone on Twitter I was just talking to a minute ago, probably why I'm a little bit late, is they were mentioning there's an Idea Xbox showcase, but the thing is, it's like that show has like so little eyes on it compared to what this is, and that is what I love about Xbox is they usually would do like a big show and they would have the diversity of everything in there. And I know obviously they've gone hard on the first party and they have done an amazing job of doing that in this showcase. But yeah, just feel like if they had just included like 20 minutes of indie games added on to what it was and maybe just reduced Starfield maybe by 10 minutes or something like that, then it would have been a perfect showcase, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong. The indie showcase that they do, the Idea Xbox showcase, is great. It's awesome to be part of that when it's a chance.
Yeah,
everybody wants to be on the big stage, And I think, there's no reason. I mean, no one's going to complain if a trailer repeats itself from the big stage to be in that that other
Yeah.
show. So
Exactly. Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. Cool. So, yeah. Any thoughts on that kind of thing, Luke, at all? Is it from yourself, or you feeling like the format was okay, or do you feel like it was missing some indies, or what's your thoughts in the general sort of scheme of everything?
Yeah, I mean, I see I get the point about indies, but I don't know. I think I disagree a little bit, just because I think look, like they've always done a really good job with indies in their shows, and that has always been, to be honest, at least to some extent, to fill in some first party gaps that they were having, just like Sony recently in their showcase. I felt that that's what they did, right? There was a big focus on indies, much more than this, because they weren't showing a whole lot of first party stuff. So I get like the turnaround this time from Xbox in terms of the cadence of indie stuff compared to first party. Like, I understand that. Whether it's an issue, I guess, depends on how many indie games you want to see, and also like what you thought of the ones that were there.
Yeah.
And for me, I think all of the ones that were there I thought looked really good. It was far more a focus in terms of indie games on quality rather than quantity. So and I mean, it's kind of like some half and half. Like, are they indie games? Are they not? Like, was the one of them, was it Towerborn, the one that looked from the Banner Saga devs?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, Towerborn.
But it's obviously it's published by Xbox, right? I'm pretty sure it's published by Xbox Game Studios. So
yeah.
So is it like an indie? I mean, it is a quote unquote an indie game, but not really.
It's not really,
because it's published by Xbox. But in terms of, if you took that out of Xbox publishing, would that be something that you would classify as an indie game? Well, it depends on how you classify it, but certainly it looks that way. It looks very creative. Love the art style, etc. So, I mean, I didn't really have a problem with it, to be honest. And I think that's probably as a result of what I was looking for in this show, but also I think over the last few weeks with just Summer Game Fest and the PlayStation show, etc., there's been a lot of really good indies have shown. They've taken a forefront in every presentation that there's been, right? True, and there's been separate presentations just for indies. So I think, it's not as if Xbox or PlayStation have neglected it. It's just that, at least in Xbox's case, I think this was the year where the message they had from people, probably rightly, was, we need to see things that you're making because we don't have enough of that on the platform, and we bought your platform for that. So I mean, that's my take on it. But as I say, some of the indie stuff that they did show here, well, all of it actually, I thought looked great.
Yeah, I think the thing is like, there's a lot of, like you say, is like Microsoft Studios published and stuff, and there's bigger indies, I suppose you could say, which are large teams, but almost in the grey area kind of thing. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know where you're coming from. I'm definitely feeling a little bit on a downer from it, if I'm honest. I have to be honest. I mean, I'm not bothered because, like you say, we've got so much. Honestly, if I could probably have not even needed this whole season. I love it so much. It's the best thing ever. But this whole season, I've still got enough to play. You know what I mean? I could take it away with everything that's happened this whole summer game this week or whatever. There's still a ton of stuff in the indie world. So we don't even need the assistance really of these big shows. But I like to see them get in the spotlight. It's nice. And I feel like it's a cultural and sort of like diversity thing. And Xbox, I thought, were doing really well on that. And I thought they did just slightly not do that in this show, if you know what I mean. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think they did as like they didn't highlight it as well as they have done. In the past, like I mean that's definitely true, but I don't think they did a bad job. I just think that the skew had to be different for this presentation, so I was never really expecting like a super heavy indie presence like there has been in the past. They'll always point them out and have some really good stuff there, but I just always felt that if they were doing what they wanted to do, it was always going to be a bit different this one. Maybe next year it will kind of go back. I don't know, but
it's funny how it's totally flipped on its head, though, isn't it? Like, you got the PlayStation Showcase, which was like indie central, and it's
very indie central.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like, now I'm going over to PlayStation, guys. I'll see you later. Dear, but no, I'm not like, they know I play on PC anywhere, and I get my games where I get them, and it's really, it's not like, I just, in general, I guess I look forward to these Xbox shows, and it was a great show. I don't want to just stay on the downer on that anyway, but yeah, by the way, guys, let us know in the chat what you thought about the show. Thank you so much to Dragon Wolf for joining us, Paul S in the house, Uncle Mike, as I say earlier, great to see you guys coming through. I think some good reactions from the show. Stop scaring. I feel the indie games backlash from the PlayStation Showcase may have affected Xbox's decisions for the Xbox Showcase. Maybe. I mean, I think, like Luke said, I think they definitely wanted to go hard on the first party, and they did that well. So yeah, let's go a bit more positive on things, because there was some great stuff shown. Obviously we're going to go a bit more AAA today, which is weird, but no, it's all about the games essentially, guys. So we're going to talk a bit more broadly now about the show. Joe, what are some of your sort of game highlights that you saw throughout the show? It doesn't have to just be the indies. I won't break up with you if it's AAA. So yeah, anything that stood out for you?
Positive side of things. I think South of Midnight, we just got a cinematic trailer, but the world that they're building with that trailer was pretty interesting. I'm curious to see more about that. And then we're going to see gameplay of that Star Wars Outlaws tomorrow, I think, at Ubisoft
nice.
thing.
Yeah.
So some of that looked like in-game stuff, some of that looked like pre-rendered stuff. I'm not sure, but
right.
Star Wars has been doing good with games lately.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's something pretty cool. Everything they were showing in there seemed neat, so I'm looking forward to the gameplay.
Yeah, it did.
And the climbing game I thought looked really cool. 33 Immortals, like I said. Path of the Goddess. Not typically a game I would play, but the visual effects and stuff they were doing on that looked pretty fun in a really weird way. So once the gameplay actually kicked in, there was some really kind of goofy stuff going on in an interesting way. So those are some that I had noted down. I mean, little stuff. I mean, I like Flight Sim. I like Sea of Thieves. And it's fun they're doing a Monkey Island thing.
Oh yeah, that was actually pretty cool. I think that's what it needs almost. I know it's really late to the game now. I mean, I never really got into Sea of Thieves because it didn't have much story stuff, and that really made me think, wow, that's pretty cool. I do like Monkey Island, and I called it straight away with the music, so I was proud of myself.
I mean, that game's like 6 or 7 years old now. Sea of Thieves. It's ripe for just like kind of making fun of itself. And kind of doing stuff like that. So yeah, I think that was great. But I mean, a ton of just like pretty cool stuff. I don't play Persona, but I know a lot of people are excited about like all the Persona content coming to Xbox. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
fans of it. Yeah,
Persona Central right now, isn't it? There was 2 Persona games, wasn't there? In this,
it was one of the Personas, and then something being made by that team that I don't think was Persona.
Right.
It basically is Persona.
Looked like it, did it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. So there was a remake of Persona 3, and then a Persona 5 Tactics style.
Oh
game.
yeah, Persona 5 Tactica or something, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then kind of the
that
next
metaphor.
Fantazio, which is their like new IP, but Persona-like game.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, good stuff.
I listed like half the games, but there was good stuff in there. Just want to see more.
Yeah. I know what you mean. We'll keep going round and round because there's so much to talk about. But let's go over to Luke next to the CEO. Any highlight games for you, my friend?
Yeah, I mean there were a few. I thought there were some weird choices in how to show some of these games, but generally a lot that at least from let's talk about indies like kind of semi-separately, I guess, because we could dive into some of these a lot. But in terms of the first party stuff, obviously Fable, I think everybody's wanted to see for a long time, myself included.
Yeah.
Weird that Richard
I was just going to say, what the hell?
very, very strange.
That was so
I mean,
funny.
it does fit. Like, I mean, it does fit. I mean,
does.
it's, kind of embodies a lot of British humor.
British
if you
humor,
watch
yeah.
the IT Crowd.
IT Crowd is one of my favorite programs of all time. So yeah, it was
yeah,
pretty cool to hear his
yeah.
voice.
So good.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was really interesting. If right, so this is one of the weird things about this. They labeled that trailer as in game, not in engine.
Right.
In
Oh
game.
yeah. Oh yeah. I did see that. Yeah.
So, like, if it looks like that when I'm playing
Yeah.
it, I think that looks incredible. Like, not just statistically, but visually, that's a very, very high fidelity bar.
Yeah.
I think there were some actual, like, definitely towards the end of that trailer when the characters, like, kind of engaging in trying to run away from his, BFG style Jack and the Beanstalk character. They did look like in-game, like actual in-game sequences, but just cut quite quickly. So I think, like, it does look really, really impressive. If the kind of rest of the game holds up to that visual bar, and if they're being perfectly straight about it being in-game, because like a lot of that didn't look. When I think of in-game, I expect gameplay perspective, right? Not kind of off to the side.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of stuff that they were doing. But I really love the art style. I thought they made, that was always one of my biggest wonders about how they would approach a new Fable game, because the old games had much more of a cartoonish art style, whereas this is kind of like going for hyper realism, but still quite fantastical. So I quite like that.
It's almost like the how they do kind of like Beauty and the Beast, the film new version, and that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So I like that. I mean, obviously they didn't show, we don't have a release date or anything like that, but everybody knew that it's not that close. Like, it's still a while away. But that, I think everybody just wanted to see it. So that was a highlight. I thought, Compulsion's game, which is South of Midnight. Again, that was a CG trailer. But I love the art style for that. It reminded me of like Coraline or something like that.
Yeah, a little stop motion-y.
A little stop motion-y, highly stylized. So if they
I noticed
translate
that right away. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just in terms of art direction and setting, like I think I read a blog post after the show, actually. So that's a third-person action adventure game.
Cool.
And they're they have a blog post about some of the details on some of the stuff in the trailer and how it translates into the game and all that sort of stuff. But art direction, all of that looked really cool. So I thought that was very cool. I quite liked, even though it was a CG trailer, the Star Wars Outlaws thing, which is Massive's next big game. Because I'm a big Star Wars fan, and also by the looks of things, it's an actual single-player open-world Star Wars game, which the rumors had it not being. It was kind of rumored to be more of a No Man's Sky type Star Wars game. So it seems like that's more up my alley.
Nice.
What else? They had a lot, man. I really liked In Exile's game, the Clockwork Revolution.
Yeah, that looked pretty like steampunky sort of.
I mean, it literally looked like BioShock Infinite 2.
That's what I thought too.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
But I don't have an issue with that, actually. So I thought it looked really good. And again, they've said that that's it's not a BioShock game in terms of the type of game that was. It's still a true RPG, In Exile RPG. Create your own character, dialogue choices, all of that stuff, which is cool. What else? The Hellblade 2 stuff was really weird. I don't know why they refused to show any extended gameplay. Obviously it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah.
It looks incredible visually, but I don't understand why we can't just see. Can we just see like some normal combat or normal puzzling or just something else? And also, I have a real bone about this game, actually, because every time they've shown it so far, they have black bars. It's 16:9. And every single time, go and watch any bit of gameplay footage, it's always 16:9.
Right.
And I do not want to play a 16:9 game. If anybody played The Order, they'll remember, a game doing that. And it's not like, it's just not a fun way to play a game. But it looks like that's maybe the direction they're going in, unless you can remove them.
Right.
So I mean, there was a lot of stuff. Just trying to think of other stuff. I'll let Belmont speak for a bit, but there was like 2 particular indie highlights for me, I'd say. So
Cool,
we'll go into those in a minute.
go round and round as much as we want today. It's all good. Yeah. So yeah, no worries. Maybe I'll just keep that saved up and come back round to you.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So Belmont, what was your sort of highlight games, buddy?
All right, so for me, definitely Clockwork Revolution. I love NXile. They're one of my favorite developers out there, mainly because of what they do with the Wasteland games. I
Right.
played 2, love it to death. So to see that, and I actually didn't think about it being like a sort of sequel to BioShock Infinite until Luke mentioned it. So that now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that does
Yeah.
seem like does seem like something there, and that's kind of why I. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say they must love BioShock and the Ken Levine and all that, because the first game they made was very BioShock as well, wasn't it? There was like, We Happy You was very much, everyone was saying, oh look, it's like BioShock on that one. So again, we've got we got now not the original BioShock, this time we've got BioShock Infinite. So it's quite funny, but it's all good because they're good aesthetics, aren't they, for sure?
Yeah, for sure. And another one was Fable. I like Fable. I played 2 and 3. Love 2. Not the biggest fan of 3, but I'm looking forward to this new one. And the fact that they have the protagonist is kind of like this mini character, and like everything else is normal size, so you're going through from like this ant-sized perspective. It seemed pretty cool from what they showed in the trailer. Jusant is another highlight for me personally.
Me too.
Loved that because I like Don't Nod. I played Life is Strange and Before the Storm. Both of those games are really good. So I'm always looking to stuff that Don't Nod is doing, like Banished, for instance.
Yep.
And another game, let me see. I do love the Persona stuff. I'm just now starting to get into Persona. I bought 3 and 4 recently. So to see 3 get a remake, really cool to see. It looked a lot more stylish than Persona 3 Portable that they ported on over to the current systems. So I'm looking forward to actually just getting my hands on that, because it actually leaked before the showcase. So I kind of got a sneak peek at it before the showcase happened.
Ooh, sneaky. Very nice. Yeah.
Thank you, Atlas, for leaking it on your own Instagram.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. You used to have to sort of like go like into dark mode, don't you? I think with all these showcases, leaks and everything. It's crazy. But yeah, so that's some good stuff there, definitely. Any others that caught your eye or with highlights for you?
Let me see. Avowed. I've been really looking forward to what Obsidian's been doing. Obsidian made my favorite Fallout game ever, which is New Vegas. Nice. So anything after that, anything that they do, I'm kind of into. And when Avowed got announced, I thought, this is great. Give them their own kind of fantasy IP to work with, and what they showed in this showcase right here really just, it kind of looks like in Skyrim, how you have like magic on one hand and you get the melee weapon in the other hand, and it looks like they just based the whole game around that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of magical melee combinations that I can do in that game. So
yeah,
really looking forward to playing that game.
You happy with what you saw of it on this showcase? Did it solidify your hype for it? Did it make you more hyped, or?
it made me more hyped for it because I was
Nice.
already pretty hyped for it.
Cool.
As soon as it got announced, I was like, yes, please.
Yeah.
And then this showcase was just like, okay, now the dial's up to 12.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they were pretty. They were going hard, weren't they? For sure. On
They definitely went hard on the first party,
for
which
sure. Yeah.
which people were saying for months.
Hmm.
You need to show us more of that portfolio. Show us
Yeah.
why you purchased these studios and stuff that you did.
Yeah.
And I think they did a pretty freaking good job of it in this showcase.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I wouldn't change anything they've done on the old first party side of things. As I say, I would add in a few more indies, but there we go. Yeah, can't always be 100% happy. You know what I mean? I just think like it's a good show. Like in the way they've done it, just feels weird. There's too much Starfield. Take out a bit of that. I've said it already. I don't want to keep going over it, but you know what I mean. It's just it frustrates me a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. But Starfield's a huge game for them, so
Yeah, it
I understand why they did that, but at the same time, I'm like, you really could have cut 10 minutes out of
Yeah,
that
easy.
Starfield presentation and showed more games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, good stuff. So, yeah, Joe, my friend. Any like thoughts about specific games? Which how did you feel about Hellblade? I know you're quite a fan of that sort of style of game. I think you're quite a fan of the first one, weren't you?
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
As Luke. It's
Yeah.
there's these two things happening. They refuse to kind of show us what the game is in a weird way.
Yeah.
And it looked amazing 5 years ago when we first saw it. And technology's catching up to what was visually insane. And now it feels like just barely ahead, if ahead at all,
That's a good point.
of like kind of the curve. And you just got to get that thing out. I don't know.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, the expressions though on that. I mean, I was actually quite enjoying it, but I thought, at the end of that segment, then you cut into some nice combat or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, show us something.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks good in the face
Yeah.
stuff. They're obviously working like directly with Epic Games on developing Epic's new Face software, and then they're getting it directly into their veins for the studio. But
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. It's just like you got to get it out. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I kind of have I'm on the other side from a few of you guys on stuff. Fable was like a little meh for me.
Right.
I love that what's his name was in it.
Yeah.
And I thought if they had like gone all in on him, I think it would have been way more interesting. The like overly realistic look to me is just everybody's doing that, and it's boring. I want people to go back to art stuff and have fun with it. It looks nice. I mean, it's clean. I think you're right. There was a few things that were maybe actually gameplay kind of snuck in there, like really fast shots. But it was just like a little underwhelming in the like creativity front.
Sure.
From that kind of stuff, I think Clockwork felt so much like what's it called that I was like, oh, I've played that already, so I don't really. I'm not a big steampunk person anyway, so I'm always. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's gonna take a lot to get me into a steampunk game.
Yeah.
And then Avowed too. I'm not a big Bethesda game person.
Sure,
I can't really get into them. But I was watching it thinking, oh, they're remaking Skyrim or something, or they're like doing a visual upgrade, and then it said Avowed, and I all by myself in my room was like chuckling for like a minute straight, like it was just so hyped, and I felt like all it was like a copy. I mean, it just looks like a duplicate of it, and some people just want more of that, so all the power to you. Like I wanted something new in the space, and I felt like they were just giving us more of what is already there in a few of those cases, and maybe turning into a crusty old old man gamer man. But I was just like, I want to see new stuff. I want to see stuff that's trying new things. And I think a lot of these big titles are really trying to make the same thing work over and over again, and it's not super interesting to me.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure about Avowed personally. I didn't really, I don't know, I wasn't gripped by anything it did in the trailer. It might be that there's so much depth there and stuff in the RPG side of things. I don't know. Maybe it's just not my sort of game, really. I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
It's one of those
things.
It's
probably the case for me too. It's probably just not my sort of game. And that's fine. I hope people love it. I always want the best for the games, but
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, the one that I would be most excited for on the first party lineup is probably Hellblade 2. And I was really enjoying that trailer, but like I say, I was just hoping at the end of it you would go away to some like nice juicy gameplay of proper just, you know, in action stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I thought that was amazing, the way the atmosphere it created in that scene though, and the facial expressions, absolutely incredible in that element, I think. So yeah, really looking forward to playing that game still, actually. But yeah, would have been nice to see more gameplay on Hellblade, that's for sure. How about you guys? What did you think about Hellblade, or any other specific kind of games you wanted to break down? I mean, which one were you kind of most hyped for going into this game, Luke, into this showcase from the first party? Was there any one specific you were hoping to see more of, and did it deliver, kind of thing?
I guess I think the one I really wanted to see was Fable, if I could have picked one. I mean, there's always a lot that you want, you would like to see there, but whether that's realistic is a different thing. I always felt Fable was a realistic one this time to see.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see like what id are working on next, for example, but I think it's just too early for that.
Would have been so good,
that would have been great. or Machine Games, right? To see like Indiana Jones or
exactly.
Maybe another Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
So Fable for me, I wasn't really bothered about seeing any more Hellblade, just because we've already had the gameplay trailer on it, and I felt if they were going to do another trailer, I wanted to see just some kind of raw, uninterrupted combat and kind of moment-to-moment stuff.
Kind of where they pick up the controller and then you're sort of with them, and sort of thing. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I did enjoy that trailer, by the way. I thought it was a really good trailer.
Yeah,
but,
it's cool.
It's very interesting and engaging. But I don't really understand the rationale.
I know.
I was looking forward to seeing Avowed, but it surprised me, probably not in the best way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think there's two kind of things that were a bit of an issue with it for me, which was, and I love Obsidian games, and I'm still really looking forward to it, because I really love Pillars, and this is set in that universe. But if you look at like Pillars, and then even though that's a 2D isometric game, but if you look at that game, and then you look at the CG teaser they did for Avowed when they first announced it.
Yep.
That world and the art style that they've always adopted, including in the Pillars games and that CG trailer, was like kind of very dark fantasy style. Not realistic, but kind of gritty, a bit more like what Diablo 4 is doing at the moment in terms of like the way that art style is. And then they show the game, and it's nothing like that at all. It's actually kind of like really vibrant and not cartoony, but it's kind of like veering on that end. And I really wasn't expecting that, so I was kind of deflated by it. And then so that wasn't that was a problem for me. Gameplay wise, I mean, it looks cool, but and I think I read afterwards as well that because they interviewed Fergus Urquhart, who's the head of the studio.
Yep.
And he was saying that it started like as their Skyrim, right? Like they wanted to make a kind of Skyrim style game in the Pillars universe, but it's not that anymore, and it's much more like Outer Worlds now in terms of the way it is. So it's not an open world game. It's kind of like the same that Outer Worlds was, which is kind of like a multiple open hub game.
Hub world,
which I think is fine. And the reason they did that was because they wanted to focus on what they're good at, which is like the RPG elements and the companion stuff. And obviously they're not as big as Bethesda or anything like that. They've got multiple projects in development as well. So I do get that, but that kind of also slightly deflates my hype, because I think when you go back to the CG teaser, everybody was like, right, it's Obsidian Skyrim, it's going to be this big, huge, dark fantasy open world RPG, and it's not.
Yep.
So that's disappointing. But they always make good games, so I'll wait and see until it, when it releases. So,
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's sometimes it's not always immediate the charm that the game will have in a trailer, is it? But yeah, the Avowed, it didn't. I don't know, like about the lighting is like flat or something. There's no atmosphere to it.
Yeah,
you know
it didn't.
What I mean?
Yeah, I think what I was going to say
For
as
real.
well is that not just the art style, but visually, then it wasn't very impressive
No.
either.
Yeah.
So I think maybe having a different art style but being very impressive visually would have kind of compensated for my dislike of the art style to some extent.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but again, Obsidian, they're not known for making really technically impressive games either. So, but I don't know, there's an
Right.
expectation going in that they've got this resource now and they're staffing up and they'll be able to make something, really impressive. And obviously when they deliver something, it's maybe a bit of a false expectation that, an unfair one perhaps, but I don't know.
It's one of the, all press is good press thing, but they show that CG trailer 2 years ago now, and
Yeah.
without answering any questions and leaving it in pure hype, people are gonna, like we've all done. It
exactly.
sounds like we've just led ourselves into this like expectation,
Mm.
and then they totally then they actually made the game and they showed it to us, and it's like, oh, whoops, it's nothing like it.
Yeah.
And so it's like such a mistake to show that. Like, it's one thing, the Fable one I think was the same thing. It was like 2 years ago. That's
Yeah.
like, we all know Fable. It was like a fairy in the woods. Like,
That's
it didn't tell us anything, and it was okay.
Yeah.
It's just like, we're working on Fable. Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is new. You can't do that to us. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be so hard.
What they've done here is kind of like imagine if the Compulsion game South of Midnight, they have this CG trailer which they've just had, and it's Coraline inspired stop motion, and then it comes to the game and they've gone for like hyper realism. You'd be like, well, that doesn't really, that doesn't match up to the vision that you've put out in the CG. And I feel like it's not quite the same extreme here, but that's kind of what they did with that original CG trailer. They said, here, look at this, it's really dark fantasy. And then they've gone, yeah, but it's not actually like that in the game. Like, we've kind of spruced it up a bit.
Yeah.
It's much more colorful.
Yeah,
And
South of
that would
Midnight
be-
could totally fall to the same problem.
Yeah. So I think that was the main problem I had with Avowed. But I'll wait and see, I'm waiting to see some gameplay and stuff. And it's a while out yet, so it's next year. But I imagine probably towards the end. So
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I don't know if that one was sort of deemed to be one of my I was looking forward to anyway, really, but maybe it's not really for me. But like I say, it could easily have pulled me in, is what I'm getting at, I suppose. Like, I think that if it just had something alluring about its visual style, it just felt flat a bit. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Hopefully it will have a better showing next time or something on that one. But yeah, shout out to Indie Pixels for joining us in the chat. Thank you very much for being here, my friend. I think Stubbs was asking if Richard Ayoade is going to be in the game. Yeah, he's definitely in the game, because that was in-game footage, wasn't it? Look, you saw on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, defo in the game. He's a BFG, I think. if you get the reference. Big friendly giant. Sorry, I didn't have to find that. But he is actually very tall in real life as well. So not quite that tall, but, but yeah, no, that's a pretty cool get, I think. Yeah, it just adds to that kind of quirky sort of, sense of humor aspect of the game. I think that's pretty cool. And shout out to Tears of a Completionist, excuse me. Thank you for being here as well, my friend. Stubbs Gaming, thanks for being here. Mr. Domez, Dragon Wolf in the house, Uncle Mike. Thank you guys for hanging out. I know there's, like every show in the world running right now, so we really appreciate you being here. So yes, let us know in the chat as well what you've enjoyed. Any highlight games for you in the chat, guys? Definitely let us know. We'd love to hear what you thought of the show as a whole. Actually, that's a good question. I mean, if you want to, guys, let us know, score out of 10 from the actual whole Xbox showcase. What did you think of it as a score out of 10, and any highlight games? And we'll definitely read out your comments. But yeah, thanks for being here, guys. Belmont, my friend, anything to add what we were talking about then? Is there any specific game you were looking forward to going into this? Or, any deep dive you want to talk about, any specific game?
Okay, so the game that I was most looking forward to going into this showcase was Fable. I had a feeling they were going to show more of it.
Yes.
But to me, I I do kind of feel what Joe was saying, though. It was kind of a letdown. I thought that it was going to be a lot more gameplay related, but it was a lot more CG, kind of. With some snippets of what looked like gameplay. So
Yep.
yeah, that kind of was a disappointment.
So
But the
slightly
rest of the
disappointing,
show
Joe.
kind of
Yeah.
yeah, but the rest of the show kind of made up for that disappointment.
Right. Cool, nice. Because the thing is, it's funny with these shows, isn't it? You sort of there's the actual showing of the game when you've got like big showcase like first party and stuff. First thing, the game shows up and you see the Playground Games logo come up, and then Fable's there. That's the exciting thing already, almost, isn't it? And then you see the game kind of thing, because it's almost exciting just to having it there. And then you've got so much exciting, the hype carries you a little bit through. So then when you actually look back, sometimes maybe the game didn't show as well as it could have, and things like that. But obviously the trailer has to deliver. But I think just this is a general thing, the fact that they showed all these first party games is a really good, confident move from Xbox in general. But yeah, like I think maybe there's a lot of sort of like almost fantasy style games that they're on at the moment, with just the way that it's sort of not fantasy, but it's kind of like the Bethesda sort of style stuff kind of thing going on. I'm wanting some. Well, obviously they are part of Bethesda, but I want some id. I want some Doom, baby, all that good stuff from id Software. And that's what I want to see next from Xbox. Obviously that's down the line, but
I just want to see.
Yeah, I'd love to see more Doom or Quake or Wolfenstein or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, the new id Tech engine as well. That'd be good. Is that what they've talked about? Or just something that you probably suspect?
I mean, it's going to be the next iteration of Tech 6, I guess. I think it's 5 it was on. So
is it 5? I thought it was even
whatever.
It
might have been.
I think it was 7 last time. Yeah.
I
think it was.
It was the Tech 7 that they were talking about.
Yeah.
So whatever the next iteration of their engine is,
which is an amazing
we'll see
engine
that in the next game. But I don't think it'll be Doom though.
No, you think it might be Quake or something, or
Quake.
I'm thinking it'll be Quake for sure, because they've already they released Doom Eternal in 2020, and there hasn't been a new proper Quake game since Quake 4 back in the day. So, it's been even longer since a proper id Quake. So, yeah,
that'd be good. It'd be good to see.
It was like Quake Heroes or whatever came out. I'm not sure when that came out.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, the multiplayer game.
Yeah, nice. Good stuff. So Stubbs is saying some highlights from him. He's not giving it a score, but for the showcase, he's actually not going to give it a score.
You're not following the rules,
Come
Stubbs?
on, Stubbs.
Well, I'm not going to read your comments.
You got told, Stubbsy, baby. Joe is on you.
Come on, Stubbs.
Listen to Sheriff Joe in the house.
Stubbs quit being stubborn.
At least he said he wasn't. That's fair. Scores are misleading. I get it.
Yeah, fair enough. He said it was one of the best showcases in years. So that's cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Paul says, I'm just excited that there are so many day one Game Pass games to try out. Absolutely. My backlog is full, so having the option to find out if I love or hate a new game is wonderful. Plenty to look forward to. Absolutely. So much to look forward to. More than we can handle, really. That's what the good thing is, really, because we get to choose. This trailer was right up Luke Street, I think. This one that's on the screen right now. This was what you were hoping for, wasn't it, Luke? A bit of beach action, I think.
The classic beach episode.
Yeah,
always love a Yakuza game.
That's not what I meant. Nice escape though. And Stubbs, he went on to say Starfield, Star Wars Outlaws, Persona 3. Avowed, Cinema Saga, Hellblade, so Lucky Dragon, Forza, we'll definitely get something to say actually, Persona 5, Metaphor. I'm even struggling to remember what Metaphor was like now, guys, you might have to remind me. I know it was
the Atlas Persona style.
Oh, it was that one,
game.
Was it? Thank you very much. Yeah, cheers. And then Towerborn as well. Cool, good stuff. Great highlights there, Stubbs. I mean, I don't know how about you guys with regards to racing games, I was definitely excited to see Forza, and it looked really good. Any thoughts on that?
I like me some racing games, but I prefer more like arcade racers to sim
Sure.
racers. So for me, Forza was just like, I'll take it or leave it.
Sure. Yeah. Not really for you.
Yeah, I'm similar. I think.
Yeah, it would have been similar for me actually. Like I've always been, apart from the like Forza Motorsport 4, that era when I really liked it. But generally, I'm not a sim racing fan. However, late last year I bought GT7.
Okay, cool.
Because I was like, it was on sale, so I was like, there's less risk attached to it now. And also I was like, if nothing else, it will be a really great tech showcase, right? It'd be something great to look at, which it definitely is. But then I put literally about 35 hours into that game.
Oh, nice.
And I absolutely loved it. So that completely shifted my anticipation for Forza 8, because I was like, okay, actually I really enjoyed this sim racer. So now I'm really looking forward to it. And I thought it looked really, really good. I'm sure it'll be incredible looking, no matter where you play it. And
some online races are on the cards then, Luke.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know, because it's October, isn't it? And that month is ridiculous. So.
True. We could fit it in somewhere. Although
we'll fit a few races in.
Is that when Mortal Kombat comes out as well?
It's around then, isn't it? It's when Alan Wake 2 comes out.
It's crazy times.
Lords of the Fallen, Spider-Man.
Too many games.
Too many games.
Yeah, there's a lot in that month.
It's bonkers.
Maybe Silent Hill 2 will launch that month.
What would happen if Silksong came out that month as well?
Oh God, no, please no.
Hey, where's Silksong?
Exactly. Good question. Did you any of you expect any Silksong goodness from today's showcase?
Honestly,
I honestly didn't.
No.
Well, wasn't it last? It was this show last year. Where they basically said it will be within the year, and then Silksong's like one of the few that hasn't come out yet. Yeah. It hasn't even like really been. They haven't talked about it again.
They did talk about. I did do a little update on Twitter saying we are putting more time into the game, basically, to make it as best it can be.
They did delay it.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, was that the one a while back, or is that a new one recently?
About a month ago, I think, or so.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
about a month, maybe a month and a half ago, somewhere, or something like that.
Yeah, so although they could have done that as a little sneaky, because I know that Matt Griffin, the PR guy, is a little cheeky one, so he could have done that to play it as a bluff and then brought it to the showcase today. So but it wasn't to be. But that would have been quite cool. It would have been good.
Like, man, that's been forever, eh? It's like, can it live up to the hype, or is are we into? Do you get into that, like you're messing with it too much because
as from a development side of things, you mean
just tweaking away. And
I guess it's a bit
stuff.
different when it's a sort of Metroidvania. I would imagine you probably know much better, but like when you build a Metroidvania, you're sort of probably, because it's such a big world, isn't it? You're building out and out and out. Maybe if it's a more of a condensed sort of game, like your game and stuff, you're probably iterating more, aren't you? Would you agree? Or
it depends. Like in theory, they would have planned it out. I mean, I have no clue how their development.
Sure,
really hopefully after the success of their first, they just took a bunch of time, and really they've only been working on it for a little while, realistically.
Yeah,
pushing hard or whatever, but.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I mean, just like with any art or any project, you can like overwork it, right? And and at some point, it's almost better to release it and have it just exist. But I forget who it is. One of the Nintendo guys, a bad game will be bad forever or something. A good game, like wait to release a game until it's good.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I agree.
You just want it. You want it to come. You do.
Yeah.
So you want them to be on their third one right now. 2 years in development of the third game.
Yeah, I mean,
6 years into this.
They say it's going to be bigger than the first Hollow Knight, which was already huge. So, I guess that's a lot of the reason. And I think the way they keep just a condensed team, I think that's cool.
Totally.
Rather than just saying, "Oh, we've got loads of money now. We sold loads, so let's make a 100-person team and knock this bad boy out." You know what I mean? And lose the the quality of the focus of the team and everything. If you know what I mean, you'll probably know exactly. You're the perfect person to know exactly about that.
Exactly what that's like.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, we've totally sidetracked. I just wondered, are you keeping yourself solo, or are you getting anyone else in for your second game, or you don't have to comment if you don't want to?
No, I'm still sticking solo.
Yeah,
it's the path that I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's great.
Another indie friend of mine, we kind of always talk about joining forces,
right?
But we just have such different kind of like game styles that I don't know if we really will, but it'd be nice.
Nice.
There's a world where there's like 2 or 3 of us, but
yeah,
I would never ever want to go more than that.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to expand, it's got to be just people you really trust, who know you can share that vision with us.
Yeah. People that I've worked with. I'm not going to be like posting hiring random, effects artists or whatever it might be. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's cool though. I love that. I'm looking forward to what you're working on. It's very exciting.
Fingers crossed.
Good stuff. Yeah, no, good. Excited. Good stuff, guys. So, Overwatch 2, Luke. How did you feel about that being there? I know you're a fan of Overwatch.
It's out already, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, I mean, to be honest, I haven't been playing Overwatch 2 very much. I played it a lot when it launched.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of it generally. Because I put over 1,000 hours into the first game. Literally over 1,000 hours.
Craziness.
Yeah, I know. Especially for a multiplayer game, because I'm not really a multiplayer guy, but I loved it.
Yeah. That sounds like Joe on Rocket League, basically, isn't it, Joe?
There's always that one multiplayer game where you're just like, you don't like them generally, and then something just hits right. Yeah. And for me, it was Overwatch. So I guess it's hard to explain, but basically, a few weeks ago they did a developer update, which obviously before this, and if people remember, way back when they announced Overwatch 2, one of the core tenets of it being a sequel was that they were going to introduce this big PvE story mode, and you're going to have like talent trees for all your heroes, and all sorts of other stuff. And a couple of weeks ago, they actually just said, right, well, we're not doing that anymore. So
okay.
There's been a massive backlash to that, because without that, the game isn't a sequel. It is just a slightly revamped 5v5 version of the original game.
Yeah.
So I think that trailer today, was probably done to try and coincide with the message they sent out a few weeks ago, to be like, no, look, we're still doing this PvE element. It's just stripped down. But the problem is, it's just the same thing that they did in the first Overwatch, because in the first Overwatch they had PvE updates, which were like one-off updates, and then they would move on, and then like 6 months later they might do another one. They're doing the same thing here. It's slightly more involved, but it doesn't make up for the fact that they've fundamentally changed what they were going to do for the sequel. So it's not really very exciting, and unfortunately fortunately for Blizzard, they have a game that they've just released that I'm absolutely addicted to, which is Diablo 4.
Well, I haven't started it yet. I'm excited.
Yeah, my advice is, if you want time to develop your game, don't start Diablo 4, just because you'll probably.
I know, I'm stuck on Zelda right now, so just flip over to another.
I know. I put that to the side to play Diablo 4, because I was like, it's all right. Diablo 4 is kind of like a drop-in, drop-out sort of game. I haven't touched Zelda for about 2 weeks as a result, so or a week. But yeah, so Overwatch 2, meh.
Yeah.
Just I'm not really interested in it.
Yeah, part of that too is the 5 new characters, right? But again, you gotta be a fan
they're already released.
About those. Oh, even those characters are?
Yes. So the ones the pack they showed at the end,
pointless.
All those characters are out already. It was just a pack. So there's kind of multiple things going on. Basically, the new characters, you have to unlock via a free battle pass, so you can't immediately play them. the thing at the end with this was basically, if I believe, if you're a Game Pass subscriber, you can kind of bypass all of that for all of those 5 characters, and you get some cosmetics. So yeah, it wasn't like a big. They did tease right at the end of that a new character, which is the one in the sun, like the silhouetted one. That was someone new.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, not. Yeah, it's just annoying. Just an annoying game.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like you can just fall off it so easily, and they've messed something up. Like, you know what I mean? When you had so much fun with the other one.
Yeah, it's just a big mistake from them, and they'll pay a price in terms of fan base. But as I say, they're lucky they've just released an incredible game with tons of content that they're already making 2 expansions for. So you know,
definitely. Yeah, good shout. So I just thought I'd bring up Jusant, or however it's pronounced. I've just decided I'm going to pronounce it in that weird way. Like it's French or something. I don't know. I'm just making that up, maybe.
Well, it's don't know, so they are French. So I always
thank you, fans. Thank you, fans.
Yeah.
I'm on the ball.
Then you might have just actually said it the right way, and we've just been saying it wrong the whole time.
For once, I get something right. Yeah, so Luke, you're liking the look of this one, are you, buddy?
Loved this, absolutely loved it. Yeah, I think you know, it kind of reminded me, and maybe you'll see it when I explain it. It reminded me of Death Stranding, and the reason is because the focus is on the traversal. Right?
Okay,
it's clearly a game solely
the baby is
focused on
the
traversal.
thing, isn't it? You're looking off. Is that right? Is that the kind of thing of you're sort of like looking out for your little friend? Is that what that part of it too? Are you thinking, or not? You know, because you're taking them. Maybe I've totally gone off kilter there. You know what I mean? Where you're traveling with your gear and you don't want to. You got to look after that. I haven't played Death Stranding. Yeah, it's kind of
yeah. It's like you're looking after your cargo.
Exactly.
In this case, it's
basically.
this adorable slug thing.
I do get you actually.
Yeah. So, but that's what it reminded me of. You know, like a heavy emphasis on traversal and equipment, making sure you've got the right equipment to traverse and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, it's very specific here because it's up clip, rock faces and stuff. But
looks stunning.
Yeah, I just thought art style was fantastic. It visually looks really great, and I just love this shot in particular with the kind of orange arid environment. Just looks amazing.
It's amazing. I mean, to the point we were talking about with Avowed, this is stylized and absolutely gorgeous with the lighting and the render. And if you're gonna do it, you got to do it like this.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I love this. And Don't Nod are making another game. Making Banished as well, which is both of those games look visually fantastic, completely different games, but they look amazing. So I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, it's definitely one of my highlights for sure. I love the traversal in it. I just accidentally clicked away from it. Sorry about that, guys. That's what I got with 8 buttons on this mouse. Always helpful when you click the wrong one. One of those Razer mouse with the buttons on the side, and I just clicked it. Anyway, looking absolutely beautiful, and like the traversal looks, really nice. Like I say, scaling the size of the mountains, the animations. Joe will be able to, as a very good animator, probably tell us the work there.
Yeah, there's definitely some cool stuff going on. I mean, they're doing a lot of, fun things to put your hands in the right places and be really dynamic. You can see it pop a few times, but that's fine. They're working.
Yeah, good. So you spotted a few faults there. Let's give him a slip for that. Yeah, I guess it's in production.
You gotta let it go. It's totally all right. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. What year was this saying that coming next year as well? Oh no, this year.
Was it? Oh. It just said, no, I forgot already.
Okay, we'll have a look at it. But either way, looking forward to it.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Nice.
Can't wait.
Good stuff. And any thoughts on this one, Belmont, at all?
No, not really, honestly. I mean, like I said, I'm super pleased for the most part with this entire showcase. Like I said, they could have cut a little bit of time from Starfield, and I think that they could have, at least shown us a bit more gameplay or, done something else with Fable. Because it kind of... They could have done more with that game, but they just chose not to, which kind of stings a little bit. But hey, I'm just glad to see it here. I'm glad that Microsoft hasn't abandoned that game, so Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's do you think they chose not to hold anything back? Not quite ready with it. Do you think
It
they?
could have been a choice thing. It really
Yeah.
could have been. But
Yeah.
if that was a thing, I do hope that there's like a whole Fable showcase or something like that where they go super in
Yeah,
depth on that
probably
stuff.
will be. Yeah, there'll be like the Starfield version, or like the Fable version of what we just have as Starfield, probably. And you'll be sick of it by the time you play it. Just kidding. But no, yeah, no. It's here we go. Fall 2023. Nice. So not far off for Jusant. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it was a bit, I don't know. It's gameplay is always king, isn't it? When these shows and can't always be shown, obviously, when it's early. But when you've got something which has been in development for quite a long time, and we're at a stage where we've already seen that sort of cinematic trailer previously, haven't we? So, you know, it's time for a bit more.
Show me the goods, man. Show me the goods.
Yeah, man, definitely. What was this one? This. Caught my a little bit. The Chinese.
Oh, this was my my best indie game from the show.
Oh, okay, cool, nice.
Yeah, so this was Still Lakes the
This
Deep.
one, the Chinese room thing. This is pretty cool.
This one I kind of missed actually, because I don't remember.
Yeah, so it's basically a first-person horror game set on a Scottish oil rig.
Amazing.
Which is probably the best
setting,
like horror setting that I can think
you know,
of.
really claustrophobic, really atmospheric kind of feel that they're going for with this game. And I'm really, as a horror nerd, I really am just looking forward to seeing what they do here with it, because there's infinite possibilities that you can do in a claustrophobic setting, like a ship out in the middle. It's, you know, out in the middle of the sea, and you're just alone on it with God knows what, basically.
Yeah. Look really good. Yeah, Chinese Room's next game. They made.
do you know them?
Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Oh, okay, cool.
They made Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs.
It's quite a lot of story-based sort of games. Yeah,
story-based, you know, horror-focused games.
Yeah.
I mean, Rapture wasn't super horror-focused, but well, it was existential, so I guess. So really, really looking forward to this. I thought it looks really cool. Love the setting.
I did watch part of the trailer, but I didn't get all of it. And looking at it now, it looks absolutely brilliant. So yeah, maybe I'm a bit less sour about the indies now. I've seen one more that's on the list.
Made all the difference.
It does. I mean, genuinely, that makes a little bit of difference. Yeah, because if you get some, I always say with the showcases, we always say it. You know, you're taking away some games that you've liked, even if you didn't like every game. It doesn't matter. You're not going to like every game. Yeah. And I'm taking away some games to look forward to there to add to the many that I'm already looking forward to. They're working with Sumo Digital as well on that. They usually do like sort of. They usually help out developers, don't they? Sumo, kind of as an assistant or sort of.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. The water effects look lovely, and the atmosphere is great. This
water looks really nice.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, did you like the look of it, Joe? You into that horror vibe?
Yeah, it's not. The water was beautiful. It wasn't perfectly realistic. It was just clean. It was really clean in a good way. Yeah, I like that a lot. Caught my eye.
Like that clean water.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I love it. When you take out your lovely doggo on those walks, go past the waters. I love it. So I've not been spying on you or anything. But yeah, fantastic. It looks beautiful. I'm well up for that one. I'm going to put that on the old wish list. I hope it's Steam as well. If not, it's Game Pass, I
think it is.
Is it nice? Cool. The one after that was... what is this one? Here.
This was the Hinterlands one.
Oh, yeah, that's
called,
it.
Or something like that. Hinterberg or something like that.
Hinterberg, yeah, I wrote that down. I should have got my list, but yeah, where is it? I'm trying to remind myself. Yeah, anyone catch anyone's attention? This one, you like the look of this? What is this one's all about? Quite a unique art style.
Yeah, I like the art style. I don't know if it grabbed me more generally than that, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
This one didn't really grab me too much either, other than the art style. That's the first thing I noticed. I was like, "Oh, this looks cool," and then as the trailer went on, I was like, "it ain't for me."
Yeah, fair enough. Like we were saying, not every game is for everyone.
Yeah.
Any interest from you, Joe?
Same boat. I think, art style was decent. The animations stood out to me as not so good. So
Okay.
it's a little hard for me to play a game like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just fine.
Dungeons
For whatever
of
reason,
Hinterberg.
it just didn't pop,
Yeah, I
couldn't
think
tell you.
I don't know. Like the art style is nice, but I don't know. The trailer didn't actually sort of maybe give a cause in each trailer it needs a narrative within the trailer, if that makes any sense. I think.
Yeah, you gotta tell a little story.
Yeah, exactly, and it didn't really do that, I don't think. So maybe it was something like that, but I know Luke was a fan of Cyberpunk. What did you think of this reveal?
Don't know about fan.
Well, in the end, maybe. after some turmoil.
There's a lot of turmoil about Cyberpunk. For
You ended up quite liking it, didn't you? Yeah. Oh, okay. So maybe not a fan then. Sorry, I apologise.
So, no, on a full scale. So it's good, but it's not like
not the full.
It's
package.
not Witcher free or something.
Sure.
Like
Yeah. What did you think of Idris and all this, Malaki?
Yeah, I thought this looked really good actually, and I think they've said that this isn't just it's a really big expansion, obviously with a kind of follow-up story and on a new area, like a big new area, but it also fundamentally reworks a lot of the base game. This as well,
right?
So it's almost kind of like a soft reboot for the base game with a big expansion on the end. And one thing that CD Projekt Red are really good at is making really, really good expansions. Like anybody who played The Witcher 3 and played, Hearts of Stone or Blood and Wine, like they're huge.
Right.
And they kind of almost feel like kind of spin-off little games in their own right. So I'm actually looking forward to this. I thought it looked much more polished than the base game does,
Right,
it seems like they've really taken their time with this to kind of drive up like the cinematic quality almost, because Cyberpunk's an amazing looking game, but it's still kind of janky, it's still got a lot of CD Projekt Red jank, where I felt like this one was, they'd kind of taken that to heart a bit, and they're trying to do, make up for it almost, make up for the state that game was in at launch and stuff like that.
True.
So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about this one. I think this will hit day one a lot better than the base game did, and I think also this isn't available on last gen consoles. This is purely PS5, Series consoles, and PC, which is probably why there's a bit of
cut down on that jank issue.
Yeah, and just the issue of trying to run it across platforms that really aren't capable of running that game anymore.
Yeah.
So that's what it feels like. So hopefully it delivers. But cautiously optimistic for it.
Cool. Good stuff. Anyone else? Any thoughts on this one? Any excitement? If not, no worries. No.
I thought it looked kind of intriguing, but I haven't played Cyberpunk 2077 itself, so I don't really have a frame of reference.
Yeah.
But just like I said with Cyberpunk, it looks cool, but I'll probably just get it when, it's kind of like at a discount and I actually have one of those systems to play it on.
Right. Yep. Sure. Yeah, because you're looking at getting an Xbox. Did you say? Was that right? Or you what did you got at the moment?
Yeah.
I
was looking to get in a Series console. I want to play Last Case of Benedict Fox.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. So what's your primary platform at the moment? Sorry.
For me, it's PlayStation at the moment.
PlayStation, right? Cool.
PlayStation 4.
Okay, nice. So so this is interesting perspective actually to look at the Xbox showcase then in a way. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I typically try to buy both consoles just so that I don't miss out on anything.
Yeah.
Because I grew up having just one particular console, and then I'd see all these other cool releases on these other consoles, and I'm like, man.
Yeah,
I'd love to just have all of them. And then when I grew up, it's just like, I can get all of them, so I'm going to.
Nice. Absolutely. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, no, good. That would be cool. Yeah, get on the old. There's quite a few good games, like Planet of Lana recently came out as well, which is Xbox only. If you've not got PC, but Yeah, there was no sort of juicy and Planet Lana in this one, but there was some good stuff. I'm seeing a few more now, maybe, so I'm getting a bit more soft about that. So, but yeah, shout out to UK Dazarus for joining us. Thank you very much for being here, buddy. Let us know what you thought of the Xbox Showcase. Anything you like? I imagine you liked a bit of the old Forza Action. So yeah, what did you think about Forza? Did you like what you saw, buddy? Definitely let us know. Big racing fan, Dazzy baby, good to see you. And shout out to Dragon Wolf as well. Thank you very much for being here, my friend. Let us know what you thought about the show. Yeah, so this one definitely, for me, this one we're looking at right now, the City Builder game didn't really hit with me. We've seen quite a lot of city builders, haven't we, and strategy games over these last few days. So I was a bit fatigued, but I don't know if this one did anything for you any differently, or
No. No.
Yeah.
I used to like SimCity a bit back in the day, but just I will say it looked visually, I thought it was really impressive for a sim game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure people will be really impressed that played the first City Skylines, but
it's funny.
It's just like
City Skylines. It's weird. Cities Skylines. It's weird that they've called it. City.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's a weird name.
Weird name, but yeah, no, this was a good opportunity to have a look on Twitter while the trailer was on. So
I like that. You need to take your chances while you can. Yeah.
yeah. You got to do it. You got to do it. So not for me.
I know what you mean. Joe, you're not really into that sort of thing either, or is that more your kind of thing?
Yeah, not so much.
No.
I'll try a weird sim like that, every once in a while, but usually it's for like an hour. It's like, cool.
yeah,
I did it. I'm out.
Take that off, just to make sure I haven't got a craving for it that I didn't realise I had, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Definitely. A few Japanese games in there. I think they're trying to work on that a bit more. They've had quite a few on the old Japanese side of things. Do you think that's a conscious effort to get that more into play, would you say?
Yeah.
Well, it's a conscious effort to try and get more Atlas games on their platform.
Of course, Atlas.
They all tend to be Atlas games that they show off. So including this one, I think really it's all a ruse to get the next Persona game kind of day one on Xbox if they can.
Makes sense.
But I thought this looked great. I thought it looked so creative, like just so wacky. Kind of Persona, but on PEDs or something. It was just so bizarre. And I think this was actually rumored many years ago. A bit like how Metroid Dread kind of came about in development, like years and years ago, and everybody just thought it was dead. So the fact that it came out kind of out of nowhere on an Xbox show was, a big deal. I think they said it was coming to Game Pass as well, right? So I think. I thought it just looks really cool.
It didn't say Game Pass at the end, funnily enough, did it?
Did it not?
Yeah, that end of that trailer I just saw there.
No, it didn't.
It's quite strange.
Well, maybe it will.
No, it didn't say Game Pass, just Xbox and Windows.
But yeah, so I look cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that looked a really good one, actually, for sure. Anyone else like what I saw with Metaphor?
It looks neat. I don't play the
Metaphor...
Personas. So. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say Metaphor was definitely one of my highlights of the show.
Nice.
Because I like Atlas. I like their games. Like I said, I was getting into Persona anyway, so a game that kind of has a little bit of a flavor Persona, but with a lot more creativity. Like, I believe it was Joe that said it was on PEDs or something like that.
Oh, it was Luke, yeah.
Luke,
yeah. He's best got back from Amsterdam, so. So yeah, good stuff. Joe, sorry, what was your thoughts on that one?
They're not I don't play that normally.
So
I know it's not like popping for me, but if it ends up like being really good, I might.
Yeah, it's like these, games that can sometimes reach out of the genre and pull people in, isn't it, and stuff. So, I mean, it looked very cool. They are so busy though, these Japanese games. I find, you know what I mean?
They can be,
yeah. It's a lot to take in. But yeah, and the really Americanized sort of voices do wind me up a little bit. You know what I mean? Not that I don't like them,
yeah.
but they're just really over accentuated. Kind of, I don't know. It's just
well, it's like, I mean, the writing style is over accentuated, but it doesn't sound as good in English, right? So
okay.
it sounds pretty goofy a lot. I think in like the Japanese sort of like culturalness of it kind of doesn't work in English in the same way.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Towerborn. You guys were mentioning Towerborn earlier on. Who was that talking about Towerborn? Was that you, Luke? I think. Let's move that on to Towerborn. Yeah, any thoughts on Towerborn? Yeah. Was it you? Sorry.
Yeah, I thought it looked good.
Cool.
Yeah. Nice visually. Seems to be a co-op game.
Worth a check out.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it looked pretty cool. I thought it hard to know what sort of gauge. What I mean, obviously it's combat, at least like co-op vibes, doesn't it? For sure. Nice art style.
Yeah.
Smooth as well.
This is the type of game I'd like to get into if I find someone to play it with, but otherwise I'm just like, I don't really think so.
Yeah. Did they say, is this Game Pass, this one? That would be good if it is for the co-op
it's published by Xbox, isn't it?
Oh, is this an Xbox publisher? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it looked pretty cool actually, this one. Definitely could do quite well with being on Game Pass and the co-op side of things. And like I say, it looks really smooth. It's almost like, sounds strange, but like almost like that side-scrolling bit is Castle Crashers almost, isn't it, kind of thing, evolved. You know what I mean? That's what I hope it's like, if you know what I mean, because I quite like the side-scrolling thing. It might not be anything like that in practice. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seemed pretty fixed on that perspective, didn't it? So,
I'll be up for that.
I think maybe you're right.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah, it does look beautiful actually. Nice art style.
Yeah, very nice art style.
Yeah. So it's always one of the things you can go back through, see quite a lot you like. But yeah, any other games you wanted to talk about, guys? Or did you want to kind of wind up with some final thoughts or something? Or is there any other highlight games that you'd just like to go over before we do that? Anyone on that?
I think I've hit most of my
hit most of your stuff. Yeah, sounds great. Anyone else, Luke or Belmont at all? You all good on that front?
I'm pretty much good on that front.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, we should probably maybe just do a little last thoughts, and we'll do, just for stubs, we'll do a score. Because you don't have to do a score if you don't want to. We'll just do a final verdict, I guess we could say, just for a bit of fun, obviously. Don't worry, we won't hold you to it, and it's like, but if you'd rather not score it, it's no worries. Just give us your final thoughts on the show. So yeah, Joe, look at us after having a little look back through things, a little chat through everything. Any final thoughts on it? Maybe like a couple of highlights, or would you have done anything differently? Just some final thoughts, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, overall good. I give it a good round of applause score. Is my score.
So British.
A nice solid,
just for us,
solid contact of the hands. Clap.
Love it.
For the score. No, it was good. I mean, they showed a really wide variety of games. We'll always want more indie stuff. That's okay, but they really did show hardcore stuff, cartoony stuff, and everything, and a little bit of everything in the middle.
True.
Your average consumer doesn't really care how many people it took to make the game. They just want the games.
True.
From that side of stuff. But it was good. It was cool. Some little snoozers on some of those things, like I talked about with like Avowed and the one that we've got on the screen right now, the steampunk one. But that's just opinion.
Yeah.
That the game itself is bad. That's just kind of like not understanding.
It's not your kind of
choices, maybe for me.
Yeah. That's the way it goes, isn't it? Sometimes. Good overall. Good overall.
A lot of good stuff.
Stuff to take away. Stuff for you to go, I'm not doing so bad. I'm going to destroy all these guys when Song 2 comes out.
Definitely. I think in the end, I'm hoping that the Outlaws gameplay looks cool because the cinematic trailer looks neat. And
nice.
There is like a shot in there where I thought, oh, is this an open world game? Because I didn't know anything about it. That kind of leads you to think that, and then just don't. The climbing game. I'm super pumped to see that.
Nice. One thing actually I forgot to mention just before we do kind of finish off the final roundup. I just wondered actually your thoughts, all you guys. Do you think we'll see anything more? Like, what do you think we'll see on? Is it Tuesday the 13th, or is it the 13th? The extended showcase.
I think they've said what
have they?
that's there. Let me just get it up. So, here we go. So they said there'll be so there will be new game announcements.
Brilliant.
They've teased that, and they'll have a focus on deeper dives into Avowed, Towerborn, Hellblade 2, ESO, snooze, and the Microsoft Flight Sim June expansion. So
cool.
A good few things there.
That's pretty good, Ash. Yeah, so new game announcements, did you say as well? Was that or?
Yes, they said as well as games from our creative partners that we didn't show you today.
That'll be cool.
Hopefully, I think they did last time as well. I think they had 1 or 2 things last time, last year. So
yeah,
so that's cool.
That'll be a nice little supplemental thing. Hopefully, there'll be a nice couple of indies in that. You never know. I won't hold my hopes up, but it's be cool to see anyway. But yeah, that's good. Thanks for that, Luke. You're a legend. Got my back, haven't you?
I'm here for.
Love it. So yeah, no, that's good to hear. And I believe you're going to be on Boxenberger's show for that, aren't you, Luke? Actually, post show.
Yeah,
that.
Afterwards. Yeah, nice. Talking about it. So.
Cool. So I'll drop by and everyone check that out as well. But yeah, so what was your score? Sorry, Joe. Just going back to you on the final.
The really firm round of applause.
Just for a round of applause, not a numerical one. No, I like that. So you can all choose whatever you want. You want to give it like five slices of pizza, or you can give it that.
Yeah,
guys.
exactly.
Whatever you want to
do. Yeah, five clapping hands.
Five clapping hands. I like that. So let's go to Luke and see how he's going to decide to score his and what his final thoughts are on the show.
I'll give it a score. I actually really, really enjoyed that show. It hit a lot of things for me, so I'd probably give it a 9.
Oh, nice.
If I was scoring it out of 20.
I love it. What a twist.
Twist. No, a 9 out of 10. Genuinely, I thought that in terms of an all-round show, that was the best show that there's been in this period.
Yeah.
But I think like some people probably disagree and have different opinions, but it depends as well. Like sometimes there's really great shows out there, but they just don't hit for you personally because the games, like you just don't have the attachment other people do to the games. Like it just you don't really kind of get the same experience. But for me, that show, like I said, a lot, like 80-90% of stuff hit for me. So that's why it's a 9 out of 10.
That's great. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, and it's definitely all subjective, isn't it? Like you say. So,
yeah.
I mean, if I'd have just as I speak for myself, as well as Belmont on this one, if we'd have seen one juicy Metroidvania in there, we'd probably be all over it, wouldn't we, Belmont?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, we still enjoyed it.
I would have already been planning. I would have been like, okay,
yeah, exactly.
About this day, you know,
like,
I got like 40 from the other freaking. Because there was a lot of Metroidvanias announced this past week, so I have got a lot to talk about over the next coming months.
Definitely. Did you see Spirit of the Samurai by any chance at the end of the Future Games show yesterday? Where we did it.
Yep. That's one. Cool. That's one of them.
Yeah, that's looking cool. But yeah, lots to look forward to. But yeah, let's get to your final kind of takes on the show. Any sort of last things you want to mention about favorite games, or just your general roundup and score, if you'd like, my friend.
All right. So this show hit more often than it missed for me. It really didn't miss all that much. My highlights were all the Persona stuff, inXile's new game. I cannot wait for that. That steampunk aesthetic. I don't know. It was just for some reason that aesthetic really just appeals to me.
Nice.
It beckons me. So to have a game from one of my favorite developers with that style, really cool to see. If I had to give it a score, I would give it a Vampire Killer Whip.
Oh God!
It did not disappoint. It hit more often than it missed, and it killed.
I like that. On brand. Very nice. Very good stuff. Yeah, no, that's perfectly summed up there, buddy. And yeah, with the Castlevania-esque vibes. And definitely check out Belmont's channel for all that goodness, Castlevania stuff, Metroidvania, all that good stuff on your channel. It's a great channel, mate, and keep up the good work over there. But yeah, it's been a really fun...
Thank you so much.
Oh, that's my pleasure, brother. I really enjoy what you do, so keep up that good stuff. It's been such a fun show. Like I say, I'm going to keep going on about a little bit more indie goodness. Would be lovely, but it was a great show, and I definitely agree that they did come up with the goods for what they wanted for really like solidifying that first party sort of strength. I think they've laid down the law on that, I suppose you could say. And it's it's good to see them actually stepping up like that in that regard. But we've always got so many indies to be enjoying, so I'm more than content for sure. And you can definitely check out some of the indie stuff we'll be doing on the channel going forward. As always, we'll be having the Steam Next Fest on the 19th to 26th. That will be happening with demos aplenty. So there's, we don't need to worry about any indie stuff. We're going to be sort of overwhelmed with sort of awesome demos, including a Pacific Drive demo, which will be available in the Steam Next Fest from the 19th to the 26th. So you can definitely expect some content on that on the channel. But yeah, it's been awesome. Thank you so much, everyone in the chat, for joining us today. UK Dads was joining us, Stubbs Gaming joining us, Dragon Wolf. Who else have we had in? So many peeps. The Song of Iron is still in there, loving it. Thimber in the house, Paul S, Mr. Domez, Indie Pixels, Tears of a Completionist, Uncle Mike, Rescue Squad Culp, all you guys who came through, thank you so much. I just want to say firstly, before we sign off, and I do a terrible thing and not do the outros, I want to say thank you so much to the legendary panel today. Firstly, Joe Winter, always a pleasure hanging out with you, my friend. It's just, you're a great guy, down to earth, and just a pleasure to hang out with. And you're also great stuff with the development side of things. So I love hearing your awesome, unique takes on that side of things. But thanks for joining us today, Joe. Would you like to shout out all your Song of Iron goodness and where they can find you?
Oh man, yeah. Well, thanks for having me. It's always fun to just hang out and talk games and be goofy. So I appreciate that opportunity. Twitter's the spot right now, so you can just check out at Song of Iron if you want to see where it's at. I'm starting to post again slowly as I kind of get myself ramped back up. So
nice.
Hopefully, more cool stuff soon.
I look forward to that. One quick request, I might have said to you this before: more bosses, please, sir.
Yes. So that the character that last post was the beginning of that exact thing.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, I got you. You got
me covered. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I got you.
That is sweet to hear. I did actually get the inkling that might have been the case by that one you posted, so I was getting excited with that.
Special little moment.
Yeah, I like it. That boss looked really good actually, with the downward attack where it is a certain area, and if you're in the area, you get that. I love that sort of thing. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. So yeah, looking forward to the next updates, and keep an eye on Song of Iron on Twitter, guys. All the links are in the description below. We've got a website down in the links as well, and also YouTube channel. But yeah, Joe says, Twitter maybe the main one, but give them all a check out, guys. And if you haven't already played the first game, check it out on Steam or Xbox. Is it just them two still you're on, or?
That's right now. Yeah,
cool. Steam and Xbox for Song of Iron. If you enjoy games like Inside and Limbo, that's an awesome experience. So check it out, guys. Nice, short and sweet, concise game that you can play over one sitting or two. If you're Stubbs. Sorry. Just kidding, Stubbs. Sorry. But yeah, definitely check out Song of Iron, guys. It's great. And it's great to have you back on. We'll have to do it again sometime soon, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff. And Luke, my friend, always a pleasure hanging out with you, bro. It's been, quite a lot of fun over this showcase season. We're ending it up here. And hope you haven't been too exhausted by all the live reactions, etc. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you, bro. So thanks for being part of all that. Yeah, would you like to shout out where they can find you, sir?
Yeah, no, my pleasure. No, of course I haven't been tired or anything like that. No, it's been nice actually, because the one thing that is always fun is the post-show reactions. The one thing I really like, apart from the Devolver one, which is short, I couldn't do the real-time reaction stuff, because actually you miss a lot of the fun of doing those sometimes. It depends on what show it is, but the people who are doing the Xbox one, it's so long. It's 2 hours with Starfield. You know what I mean? How do you react to that in real? I don't know. But anyway, thanks for having me. So
that's a pleasure.
Yeah. And just follow me at LukeSteele90 on Twitter.
Awesome, my friend. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, and obviously Scott will be back at some point from his holiday, and I'm sure we'll do a little bit more wrapping up and on the next podcast and things, and maybe diving into a couple of the indies we've seen over this showcase season. But yeah, look forward to that. We have to get a date in the books for that for when Scott returns. But yeah, we might have some other content which we'll have a chat about that. But you know, with Steam Next Fest, maybe some other stuff we can cover, etc. But yeah, once again, thanks for being part of it, Luke. It's been a blast as always. And finally, last but not least, Belmont, once again bringing the fire to the show. Pleasure hanging out for you for the second time, my friend. Thank you for being part of this. Yeah, where can they find you and your awesome channel, buddy?
No problem. Thank you so much again for having me. I appreciate it. Like I said, anytime you want me to come on here, I'm game.
Nice.
Thank you. Can find me on Twitter at the Matt Belmont. You can find me on YouTube, again, same name. And I do Castlevania, I do Metroidvania stuff. I talk about all that stuff on my channel. And I'm going to start playing some stuff over there.
Oh, nice.
Because I've kind of missed doing gameplay videos and stuff like that. So
awesome.
Be on the lookout for that.
Definitely look forward to that. Absolutely.
Also, I do have a book that is currently a work in progress. At the moment. It's a horror book. So if you want updates on that, go follow me at author_Madden on Twitter.
Nice. Wow, that's pretty cool, man. Sounds good. So it's a horror book, you say?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a werewolf book.
Oh, cool. Sounds good. Well, congrats on that. That's impressive. Definitely check all of that stuff out, guys. Yeah, it's been a blast. As I say, thank you so much, everyone, joining us in the chat. As I mentioned, great legends coming through as always. If you haven't already, hit that like button. It would mean the world. Feel free to share it out and all that good stuff. If you haven't subscribed already, definitely feel free to subscribe. It would mean a lot, as I say. Bringing that indie goodness to you as much as possible on this channel. That's what it's all about. A little bit less indie goodness today, but we'll be bringing the indie goodness back into your lives going forward. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, guys. I hope you enjoyed the Xbox Showcase. Hope you're enjoying Game Showcase season. There's still a few more things going on. So maybe the PC gaming show is still on at the moment. Actually, I might have to dive into that if it's done. But yeah, once again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. You're awesome. And we'll catch you again very soon with another show or video. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you later.
Later all.